My boss fired me after 15 years and said we need fresh young blood now. The next day, his boss called me and said, David, we want to make you CEO. When my old boss learned that I would be conducting his job interview, his face went completely white. My name is David Martinez, I'm 52 years old, and for the past 15 years I've been working as software development director at Innovate Tech Corporation, at their headquarters in Boston, until last Monday when the new department manager Ryan Campbell called me into his office. Ryan had joined the company 6 months ago, was 34 years old, had an MBA, and was the kind of self-important type who thought very highly of himself. In every meeting he'd use buzzwords like disruptive innovation and digital transformation, but actually knew nothing about technical matters. David, he said to me sitting behind his desk, the company is going in a new direction. We need young dynamic talents who are more tech-savvy, because you're 52 years old and, well, your somewhat old-fashioned approaches were terminating your position. I looked at him from where I was sitting. 15 years. For 15 years I had built this company's software infrastructure from scratch. When I started, the company had 12 people, now 340 people work here. And this man was calling me old-fashioned. I understand, I said calmly. What's the effective date? Today is your last day, he said, clearly expecting a comfortable reaction. Janet from HR will give you the paperwork. Of course, we'll write good things in your reference letter. I stood up, extended my hand. Good luck, Ryan. I hope you find the young people you're looking for. Ryan was surprised. He probably thought I would cry, beg, or scream, but I just left. Actually, there was something Ryan didn't know, and this knowledge was about to fundamentally change his life. When I started at Innovate Tech 15 years ago, the company was a small startup. Its CEO, Patricia Wells, was an elderly technology expert. Patricia and I had gotten along very well, and she trusted me not just as an employee but as a strategic partner. 7 years ago, when Patricia was retiring, she made me a very special offer. David, she had said, you know the heart of this company. I want to give you 15% equity, but there's a condition. This situation will remain completely confidential. Nobody will know until the company goes public and grows. You'll continue to act like a regular employee. At the time, it didn't seem very important. But the company had grown incredibly over the past 7 years. And last month, we had been sold to a major technology giant, to Tech Global Solutions for $2.8 billion. Ryan didn't know these things. He didn't even really know who the new CEO, Michael Stevens, was. But I knew, because Michael was my old MIT classmate. While I was packing up my office, my cell phone rang. I recognized the calling number. David. Michael's voice came through the phone. I just heard something. Is it true? Did Ryan Campbell fire you? That's right, Michael. It happened this morning. Has this guy lost his mind? Michael's voice was trembling with anger. You're one of the company's most valuable assets, both for your technical knowledge and your knowledge of company history. Ryan wants young blood, I said, smiling. I'm 52 years old. Apparently, I'm old-fashioned. David. Michael's voice became serious. Can you come to my office tomorrow morning at 9? I have something to discuss with you, and I'm sure Ryan will want to hear this conversation too. The next morning, I went to Michael's CEO office. The large office on the top floor of the company with glass walls and a Boston view. Michael was sitting behind his desk with the legal team beside him. David, please sit down, said Michael. First, I apologize for what happened yesterday. Ryan firing you was a huge mistake. Michael, it's over now, I said. I'm already looking at new jobs. No, David, Michael continued, because I want to make you an offer. Tech Global's COO position is open. Chief Operating Officer. All technology departments will report to you, including Ryan. I was surprised. COO was the company's second highest position. Michael, this is a very big step, I said. David, you're the man who built this company's infrastructure. You designed the system architecture. You wrote 60% of the code base. And now you're also a 15% shareholder. I want you here as a partner, not as an employee. At that moment, I heard Michael calling Ryan. The door opened and Ryan came in. He was surprised to see me. Ryan, said Michael, you know David. He's going to be our new COO, so now he's your boss. The color drained from Ryan's face. His mouth hung open. How is this possible? He stammered. David was fired yesterday. Ryan, I said calmly, the first thing you'll learn is this. Before making big decisions, you should learn who you're dealing with. I'm a 15% shareholder of this company. I've been working here for 15 years, and now I'm your new boss. Michael stepped in. Ryan, what you did yesterday was unacceptable. Firing a valuable employee like David because of his age is illegal. You're discriminating. I was just thinking about the company's future. Ryan's voice was trembling. Ryan, I interrupted him. The company's future comes by blending experience with newcomers. Before you could even get access permissions to the company's main systems, you're firing a 15-year employee. What kind of management approach is this? Michael put the papers on the table. Ryan, you have two options, he said. Either you accept working under David and completely change your management style, or you resign. The choice is yours. Ryan's hand was shaking. When he came here 6 months ago, he saw himself as the future of the company. Now he was on the verge of losing his job. I'll work under David, he said in a barely audible voice. Good, I said, smiling. Then as the first order of business, you need to officially cancel the firing decision you made yesterday. You'll send a company-wide email announcing that it was a decision error and that they're promoting me. Ryan nodded. He had no choice. That afternoon an email went out company-wide. The decision we made yesterday regarding David Martinez has been reviewed and David has been promoted to COO position. We wish him success. Ryan Campbell. 3 months later, things were going much better. Ryan had really changed. He was now humble, eager to learn and respectful to experienced employees. Sometimes hard lessons change people. In Michael's office while reviewing quarterly reports, David, he said, "What do you think about Ryan? Has he really changed or is he just acting?" "He's really changed," I said. "He learned to swallow his pride. Now he listens, asks questions. Last week I suggested he call back one of our former employees and he accepted. Aren't you angry at what they did to you?" Michael asked. "Michael," I said, looking at the Boston view through the window, "being 52 years old isn't a weakness, it's an advantage. 15 years of experience isn't a burden, it's wealth. Ryan learned that. Sometimes the best way to show people the truth is to confront them with their consequences." 1 year later, the company had grown even more. Thanks to our new projects, revenue had increased by 40%. Ryan was now my right hand. And most surprisingly, he was now constantly seeking advice from Frank, our oldest employee. "David," he said to me one day, "I'm really sorry for firing you that day. It was my biggest mistake." "Ryan," I said, "that mistake made you who you are today. Sometimes our greatest successes come from our greatest mistakes." Patricia Wells, our founder, came to visit last week. She's 75 years old, retired but still vibrant. "David," she said, "the day I gave you 15% equity was one of the best decisions I made, but I never thought you'd become COO." "I never thought so either, Patricia," I said, smiling. "But sometimes life puts us through difficult paths to mature us. What Ryan did that day was actually an opportunity for both of us." Today, sitting in my office making plans for 2024, my phone rang. A headhunter was bringing an offer for another company. "Mr. Martinez," he said, "we're looking for someone with your experience, under 35, dynamic, innovative." I laughed. "I'm sorry," I said, "I'm 53 years old. I guess I'd be considered old-fashioned." "Oh," he said in surprise, "but you're Innovate Tech COO. Your age isn't on your LinkedIn profile." "That's right," I said, "because age is just a number. What really matters is how much value you can add." After hanging up the phone, I went to Ryan's office. He was working at his desk, his hair a bit messy, his eyes on the screen. "Ryan," I said, "we have a presentation tomorrow morning. Are you ready?" He looked up, smiled. "I'm ready, David. I made sure to ask the right questions this time." As I was leaving, "Ryan," I said, "thank you for firing me that day." He was surprised. "Why?" "Because that day we both discovered our true potential. You learned to be a good leader and I learned that I was a shareholder. Sometimes life's greatest opportunities come disguised as the greatest disappointments. Being fired at 52 isn't the end, it's a new beginning. What really matters isn't how old you are, but how valuable you are. And people who don't know your value will learn the truth sooner or later."